IFMSA Austria. IFMSA Belgium. Bosnia and Herzegovina, Republic of Srpska. Thank you, people, for cooperating. IFMSA Brazil. We see you. Then I'm Brazil. IMSB Bulgaria. You're doing great. Okay. IFMSA Quebec. IFMSA Chile. ASAMCOL Colombia. Colombia is there. Cromis Croatia. Oh. Northern Cyprus. What? Yeah. Oh. We are getting slower. How are you doing? Okay, no. So, are we good? No? No. Only 2 A's. No. Yes. Yes. Both Brazil, yes. Both Brazil, yeah. Okay, we continue. IFMSA Czech Republic. IMCC Denmark. IFMSA Egypt. IFMSA El Salvador. Are you good? IFMSA Estonia. Today we see a lot of people, it's good. So Finland. Don't forget to get into Nemo vote at the same time. It's important. And in France. BVMD Germany. Are we good? Okay. Helmis Greece. Hungary. IMSA Iceland. SIMSA Indonesia. Okay. Indonesia is also there. Yeah, thank you. IFMSA Kurdistan. IMSI Ireland. You can. System Italy. IFMSA Japan. IFMSA Joe. Come on, Jordan. Kazımsa Kazakhstan. Lamsa Latvia. Limsa Lithuania. Alem Luxembourg. MMSA Malta. AMF Mexico. IFMSA Morocco. IFMSA NL. Oh, sorry. NMSA Norway. IFMSA Poland. Oh. Thank you. And in Portugal. Oh. Pasum Romania. Oh. HCCM Russian Federation. IFMSA Serbia. Slumsta Slovakia. Slomi Slovenia. Slomi Slovenia. IFMSA Spain. IX Catalonia. Oh. IFMSA Sweden. SWIMSA Switzerland. Thank you. FMS Taiwan. IFMSA Thailand. UMSA Ukraine. SFGH Ireland. Yeah. LIMSA Libya. I don't think we have all the voting cards with me. So we should have more. Okay, we continue. Okay, we will be a bit more slower. Okay, so in order to also make it helpful for the returning officer, we ask you to come here. Like once you hear your name, please come here so that we can give your voting cards. Okay? So I continue. IFMSA Algeria, you can, yeah. IFMSA Argentina, Argentina, no. Azerem Azerbaijan, no. Okay, can you please raise your hand if you haven't gotten your voting cards? Do you want them to come here? Okay, so how we are going to proceed is we want you to line here and then we will give it to you. I'm fine. We will give them. But can we make it in one line so that everything can be easier for all of us? After. Turkey, Tunisia, Togo, Syria. We call that. We call okay. Okay, what's the next? Hong Kong. Yes. A little moment. No. I saw Turkey. Shall I? Turkey is also there. What are your animals? Okay.
The question is. I have the mail. If someone could open the. Yeah. I just need to get internet again.
Our rec is also online. India. Wait, sorry. Turkey I did. India, I can't find India. India. Hong Kong, not yet. India. Sorry. Hong Kong. Sorry. Yes, I have. Yes. Tunisia, perfect. Ja, Ethiopia. Nice. Tunisia. Sorry, ik ben even land en groepen.
Maybe try and download it, because when I looked at this, I did not see page numbers, but my internet is really struggling right now.
Ethiopia, okay.
It still does not have the 1 1 2.
No?
It's here usually, right?
So not valid.
Yes, but I just would like
Yeah, go for it.
the answers confirmed.
Yes, it's not. Yeah, top right corner.
Lebanon I have.
Check this is
Lebanon. Oh, I can just control F again and later. Yep. Tanzania?
Go ahead.
Open.
Invalid.
Rwanda? Nice.
Just letting the online participants know we're still distributing the voting cards. We will be soon finished. With that being said, please keep being logged in on EmoVote. And another reminder, you cannot be both online and in person as per our hybrid GA guidelines. And so if you do have an NMO representative in the room and both online, we will have to kick you out.
Singapore?
So Zimbabwe, it's just.
Invalid. Still,
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna. Can you maybe put a screenshot with it so they can see? Yes.
Another reminder from our vice chairperson that if you are using NemoVote on your phone, you cannot switch tabs or go to another application, as then it means that you're not on NemoVotes from our end. We don't see you. And so to be recorded on the minutes saying that you were present at the plenary, it's not sufficient to just have your voting cards or being on the Zoom. You have to be on NemoVote, otherwise you will be recorded as not present, and that looks a little bad.
We are done with the voting cards. Thank you, people.
Thank you so much, Malike and CCC and returning officers, for your help, and thanks everyone for collaborating. We will begin sharing the slides on the Zoom in 1 second. All right. So just confirming, can people on Zoom still hear us okay, and can they see the presentation?
Yes, we can see you and can hear you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for confirming. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to change the slides. Once again, make sure you're connected. The people on Zoom, make sure that you have the right Zoom name following the official naming list. And otherwise, we will present to you. Next slide is the plenary 2 agenda. First, we have the adoption of the preliminary report of the Constitution Credential Committee. Next, we have presentation of candidates for interim team of official. Oh, we have to change this. This is wrong. We will change the order. It's presentation of candidates of IFMSA Executive Board for the term 2026-2027 first, before the presentation of candidates for interim team of officials positions for the term 2025-2026. This has been reflected in the amended agenda that was adopted. This is our mistake. We will correct that now. And then finally, the last agenda point for today is presentation of candidates for supervising council for the term 2025-2027. P before the presentation, not resentation, but this is the agenda we have for today. Thank you so, so much. Okay, so moving on then. Agenda item number 14, adoption of the preliminary report of the Constitution Credential Committee. Technical break for the CCC. Do you want 5 minutes? Okay, 5-minute techno break. This does not mean that you can move or speak. Thank you. CCC. It has been 5 minutes. CCC, do you need more time? 2 minutes? You get 2 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for remaining silent. For the NMOs that are here and that have a candidate that will be presenting online, you can tell them to use the Zoom link provided and add candidate at the end of their own name. They don't need to be named as your NMO because then we will think that you're both online or in person, or you have more than 2 delegates that are present. And so please tell them to just add the word candidate or the position they're candidating at the end, so that our returning officers can see who they are and allow them in the Zoom. Thank you. Okay, thank you, CCC. The technical break is over. So, as we were saying, we've already presented this agenda item, so we will go to next slide. Okay, we have regular motion number 8 to adopt the preliminary report of the Constitution Credential Committee of the 75th General Assembly, March meeting 2026. This is proposed by the IFMSA Executive Board. Would you like to explain? Can we have a mic, please? 1 second.
No.
Okay. IFMSA EV did not want to explain in this case. I need a seconder, please. NMSA Norway. NMSA Norway. Okay. Do we have any amendments? Yes, IFMSA EV.
We'd like the motion to say to adopt the latest version of the preliminary report of the Constitution Credential Committee of the 75th General Assembly March meeting 2026 as shared on server on March 2, 2026. Thank you.
Okay. Can you just confirm that we have the right amendment displayed on the screen? EB, can you confirm this is the amendment you want?
Can we add NMO before server?
1 second, our screen is disappearing in the room. Can we have some tech support in the room, please? Okay, we have the screen back. Is this to confirm your amendment?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. IFMSA EB, do you accept the amendment? Yes. Okay. Does the seconder accept the amendment? Yes. Okay. In this case, the amendment is directly incorporated into the motion. Any other amendments? No, I don't see any. Okay. Are there any direct negatives? Then in Brazil, alternative motion. Any alternative motions? No alternative motions. In this case, we will go directly to a vote. The vote is open. Please vote. And just as a FYI reminder, the voting right list here that we're using for this specific motion is reflected to the AM25 Plenary 6 voting right list. That is because the CCC report has not been adopted yet. And so we are still using the same one as we did for Plenary 1. Once, and if the report is adopted, the voting rights will be reflected to the current situation for MM26, of which you have submitted your CF and underwent the hard work of obtaining your voting rights. Please vote. Okay, so we will be closing the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The vote is now closed. Oh, okay. We have the votes. It is 43 in favor, 3 against, 3 abstentions. So in this case, the motion passes with simple majority. Congratulations to the CCC. Thank you for your hard work. Okay, that was all the motions we received for this agenda item, but I got a request for a speakers list. Before the presentations of the candidatures, I would only like to allow animals or participants to be added to the speakers list if it is specifically about the presentations of the candidatures. IFMSA Joe? Okay. Anyone else wants to be on the speakers list about the presentation of the candidatures? What is this? IFMSA TO? You would like to be on the speakers list? Okay. Anyone else would like to be on the speakers list precisely just for the presentations of the candidatures? I will not be opening another speakers list. This is it before we start the presentations. Okay, alrighty. Thank you so much. So in this case, we will start the speakers list with IFMSA Joe. A reminder that you have 2 minutes for your statement and to please send your statement to our form here. You can see the QR codes and also share with the NMOs on the server. Thank you. You may go when you want.
Okay, this is Ghassan, IFMSA Joe NMOP. His statement is on behalf of IFMSA Joe, PIMSA Palestine, Association with Tunisia, IFMSA Iraq, LIMSA Libya, LIMSA Lebanon, SIMSA Syria, IFMSA Algeria, IFMSA Morocco, IFMSA Egypt, MMSA Malta, ISTMSA Estonia, IFMSA Poland, IFMSA Kurdistan, and NMOs raising their card to support. We would like to share an important update regarding NMO's participation in this March meeting in Denmark due to the current geopolitical escalation in the Middle East and the resulting airspace closure and flight cancellation affecting several countries in the region. Many flights from different cities in the region, including Amman, were unexpectedly suspended over the past days. These disruptions have affected thousands of travelers worldwide and led to the cancellation of numerous routes across the region. Unfortunately, as a result of these circumstances, some members of many delegations were unable to travel and join the General Assembly in person. Among them is the candidate for the PPRC position, Ms. Hiba Miqdadi, who was greatly looking forward to presenting her vision and engaging directly with IFMSA community. Furthermore, Firas Shammas, the NMO president of SIMSA Syria and the recipient of the TAF, was also unable to attend due to the same disruption. We want to emphasize that this situation was entirely beyond our control and reflects the broader challenges many individuals in the region are currently facing with international travel. Despite these difficulties, our commitment to IFMSA, to the General Assembly, and to the values of global solidarity and collaboration remains strong. We sincerely appreciate the understanding and support of the IFMSA community. We trust that our candidate will be given an equitable platform to share her ideas, vision, and dedication with all of you in the true spirit of IFMSA's democratic values. We stand here today not only for the delegations affected by travel disruptions, but also as members of a global family that continue to support one another regardless of circumstances. Thank you for your understanding and solidarity. With appreciation.
Thank you so much. All right. IFMSA TO, you have 2 minutes for your statement. You may start now.
Dear candidates, we would like to warmly congratulate you on taking the next step and submitting your candidature for the IFMSA Executive Board 26-27, the interim team of officials positions, and the Supervising Council 25-27. Taking the step requires both courage and dedication. IFMSA thrives because of the passionate individuals like you, committed to empowering fellow medical students, advocating for our values, strengthening our community, and moving the Federation forward.
We all remember our own presentations last year. While the experience can feel intimidating, we are truly excited to see you shine, and it brings us great joy to witness so many motivated members from across the Federation applying. We wish you the very best luck in the hours ahead. We want to remind you that no matter what, you are winners just for taking the courage to apply. As the team of officials of this term, we're excited to see where you will take our Federation in the coming term. We look forward to working with you in the months ahead, whether during your handover period or following your immediate appointment. Best of luck, IFMSA Team of Officials 2025-26.
Thank you so much. With this, the speakers list is now closed. I would simply like to inform everyone that as the CCC preliminary report has been adopted, it means that we have a few members that have gained voting rights, and this includes both full members as well as associates. Thank you. In this case, you may clap if you want. Congratulations. Okay, so we are moving on to agenda item number 15, presentation of candidates for IFMSA Executive Board for the term 2026-2027. It has already been shared on the NMO server, the order of the presentations. I would simply like to remind everyone that we will start with the presentation of the president, followed by VPA, VPF, VPM, VPE, VPCB, VPPRC, and that will be the end of that agenda point, and we will move on to other officials. I would like also to remind everyone that by the bylaws, we cannot have the candidates listening into each other's presentation, and there is also a time limit associated with the presentations. I will be very repetitive because we do want everybody to be informed. So for executive board candidates, they have 5 minutes of speaking time and 3 minutes for questions. They have submitted a visual support to us in time. If it were the case, we will be presenting that to everyone here. And you will also have access to the visual supports that we have received in time that will be sent to you at the end of the plenary. So we will have our returning officers escorting the candidates that are not presenting but within the same position outside of the room, either in person or if they are joining on Zoom, they will be brought to a breakout room so that they do not listen into each other's presentations. So please be patient as we do these adjustments in between each presentation. I would also like to ask everyone to be respectful and to listen in as they have prepared their candidature with a lot of effort and hard work. You may clap at the end of their presentation with no issues, but please do not speak or interrupt them. The period of question will be following their presentation immediately. We will be timing them and we will be opening the floor to questions. There are no limits for questions in the case of the candidates being here in person or online and able to answer them to the plenary directly. As long as it fits within the answering time, the questions do not count in the time limit. For the candidates that unfortunately could not be here today, either in person or online, the questions will be collected in the number of 2 questions only from the floor, either in person or on Zoom, and it would be sent through the NMO servers to the candidate specifically with NMOs in CC, and they have 24 hours to reply to the questions on the server directly. And this has already been outlined in the Hybrid GA guidelines, which we have happily adopted. And that's all that I had to say. Thank you for listening to my speech. And I will give the floor to the candidates. So please give us a few minutes so that we make the adjustments. We will first, for the president presentations, we will be starting with Rodaina Abdelwab. And so I would like Ahmed and Kana to be escorted out of the room.
Okay, so what? Okay, fair. IFMSA plenary vice chairperson. I want to declare conflict of interest for candidates for presidency and VPE. Therefore, I'm leaving the table for this part of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Can we just confirm that Kana and Ahmed are out of the room? Okay, I will take that as a yes. Rodaina? Okay, another reminder for all the people in person and online, as it is a presentation and we want to limit factors that can impact or bias any presentations that are here, it means that you cannot exit the room during presentations. And that applies to both people in the hall, but then also for those on Zoom. So I would ask the returning officers on Zoom to please ensure that we don't let people in during the presentation as to not disturb things. And then I would appreciate it if we have help in the room as well to ensure that the doors are closed during the presentation. Thank you. The pointer is not working? No? It's okay. Okay. So I will be changing the slides then. Okay. So Rudy, you may go whenever you're ready. You have 5 minutes for your presentations.
Okay. Thank you, Cameo. Hello, everyone. First of all, I hope you're enjoying the General Assembly. You know, IFMC has a very nice way of changing you, very slowly, not loudly. It's because of the people we meet along the way, the conversations that could be challenging but we enjoy, or perhaps not. And all of this, and along the way of being here for 3 years, maybe four, I realized that IFMSA is no longer just a federation for me, but a place I feel like I belong to, a bit of home, a bit of family, but a place I care for, and a responsibility I want to take on and to grow and to protect as well. And this is why I find myself running for president for the term 2026-2027. Thank you. So the motivation behind why I'm running consists of a few things I would say are central to how I view this federation and our members. And this is centered around building a community, not just structure, not just bureaucracy, though coming from a VPA background, it can be sound funny coming from me. I truly believe in leading with rights-based values and ethical leadership, and this means that as EB and as CEO, oftentimes we are the people that often hold the power and the mic outside of General Assemblies, and this means we need to prioritize handing it over to you as NMOs and listening to the members regularly and making sure they are heard, and that is one central priority to why I'm running for president. I want us to trust the process even when we disagree. We're made of 135 NMOs. We're 1.5 medical students, all of us highly caffeinated, energized, highly intelligent, and we always disagree. But this is what makes this federation beautiful. And this is the community we need to protect, and we need to keep growing together. So can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So my first pillar, and I would say the most important one to me, is making sure that our executive board decision making is strong and it is valuable. It is transparent and accountable, and this means our decisions are thoroughly analyzed, they are transparent and rational, they are accountable and shared where relevant with you. But it also means that as EB and TO, we are prepared to respond in crisis to our animals that are facing crisis, making sure you're never left alone when you need us to be there for you. And that requires preparation and very strong decision making. I want us to be in a space where even though we can disagree, you can always have a trust in the executive board that they will always be there for you. And that would be my number one priority as president. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. So central to any good TO and EB, in my opinion, is really, really good planning. And the privilege of being in the EB is having 6 months of elect period, using that to plan ahead really well, making sure that everything that needs to be prepared during that period is prepared, coordinating the executive board elect across the entire elect period, having all different areas of work properly discussed and presented beforehand, supporting with handovers, and making sure that all of the EB members and TO members are well aware of their roles and ready to take on the trust and the mandate that you will give them through your decision making in this GA and the next one as well. So can we go to the next slide? Okay. Today in Presidents, we discussed our strategy, and the first term of that strategy would be in 26-27. And it would be my biggest priority, making sure that it's properly implemented, it's properly evaluated, and it's properly documented, building on the success of the drafting process and hopefully nice discussions that we'll have in the August meeting. With that, next term comes the drafting of the Standing Committee and regional strategies, and this means that we need to have this aligned with the central strategies in accordance with our bylaws to have a one united federation, and that would be my priority, working with the team of officials on this process. Furthermore, we work on annual working plans, but we are not the best at tracking them or updating them, and it would be my priority to make sure that it's regularly revisited and that we are accountable to the plans of actions you vote on during the General Assemblies. Can we go to the next slide, please? Central to any community are the people and the people that we care for and their well-being. So my priority, as always, would be making sure that we have an empathy-driven culture where people are at the center of the work, not the work itself, where their well-being is taken care of at the level of the executive board, the team of officials, and that will propagate to the international teams and the NMOs through spreading that culture. We need to work on further engaging our alumni. This year has been very successful with the 75th anniversary, and I hope to continue giving more opportunities for engagement.
Thank you so much. 5 minutes is up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rodaina. We will proceed with the questions. A reminder that you should not move and you should not be let in or let out of the room. when we're still in the candidate period. Thank you. We'll do that after the questions are answered. Okay, so you will have 3 minutes for questions. I will take questions from both the floor in person and as well as online. How would you like to receive the questions, Rodaina? One by one, 2, 3, one by one? Okay, all right. I will first start with seeing if anyone has any questions for Rodaina's presentation in the room. Please raise your voting card. Okay, so we have Lindsay Lintuinia. Please keep on raising your voting card so our returning officers know where you are. Okay, excellent. So we're taking questions one by one. I will ask again for another round if we still have time afterwards, and I will request you to keep your voting card raised if you are selected to ask your question so we can find you, okay? So the questions do not count in the time limit. So I would ask you to say loud and clear your question, and then I will start the time when Rudy is ready.
Ostea Shiherlamsa, Lithuania. Thank you for your candidature. And my question would be very short. How do you reflect on situations where your leadership approach may have contributed to tension within the EB? And what changes have you made as a result? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. As EB, we make it a point to share feedback with each other when there could be anything that could have raised tension, and I have not received any of this feedback. So as far as my work with the executive board, I feel like it's been very smooth, it's been very collaborative, I've been enjoying it, and I hope also my fellow EB members have. So there has been no notice of this as far as I'm aware, and as far as I've been told from my fellow EB members. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to ask if anyone on Zoom has any questions. Please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any hands raised on Zoom. In this case, I will go back to the floor. Anyone has questions? Please raise your voting card. And in Portugal?
Carlos Hihiman in Portugal. Thank you very much for your presentation. You emphasize structure, documentation, and institutional memory. How will you ensure that this does not become bureaucratic overload for EB members, but instead increases efficiency and trust within the Federation? Thank you.
Thank you. So the main executive board member that is responsible for archiving and documentation is the vice president for activities. But within the executive board, we do have coordination workspaces where, if not used correctly, can lead to a bit of mismanagement. So my priority is making sure that there's a centralized, clean system that works for all of the executive board members where they're up to track with all decision making. And we're able to also follow up with all the decisions work we're doing. And that would be the simplest, most efficient way, making sure that all of the members that are involved agree to the system and feel like this is the best way for their work and it does supports them, not burdens them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will once again turn to the people on Zoom. If you have any questions, there is 1 minute and 53 seconds remaining. Anyone online that would like to ask a question? I don't see any hands raised online, so I will turn back to the room. Anyone in the room that has any questions for Rodaina's? Yes, Helmsick, Greece. Please make way for our returning officer to go through. Thank you.
Hello, Maria here from Helmsick, Greece. Thank you for your candidature. We want to ask you what is the biggest need of the Federation right now and what should be done towards them?
I would say proper coordinated crisis response across the entire team of officials, which often is a struggle area for us in terms of making sure that we are able to respond within timely manners, which I would say for crisis 24 to 48 hours to pressing issues. Every day with our geopolitical situations, we end up with crises that come up overnight. And if we don't develop systems that are efficient, that are well coordinated and practiced amongst the TO, we'll find ourselves unable to respond properly. And that's my #1 priority. Obviously, this comes with continuing the work of the strategy, alumni engagement, so on and so forth, but crisis is number one here. Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much. There is 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Is there any questions from the Zoom? Please raise your hand if you do have any questions for Rodaina. I don't see any. Anyone in the room that has any questions for Rodaina? MF Mexico?
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm of Mexico, Alder Cortez, he, him. My question will be if you could mention three prior indicators at the end of your term that you would like to accomplish, which of them will be them?
3 indicators. I would say number 1 is making sure the first year of the strategy has been adequately completed as per the indicators that would be drafted. Making sure that our board of recommendation is updated because most of the members have expired already. We can have a new board. Making sure that the outcomes and plans that we set together as EB and TO are met to an acceptable degree as far as the standard has been set within that elected TO. Thank you for your question.
Okay, there is 45 seconds left. Is there any more questions for Rodaina, either on Zoom or in person? Please raise your hand or voting card. Okay, I don't see any. Thank you so much, Rodaina, for your presentation. I would ask Rodaina to be escorted out of the room. And I would like to have Ahmed back in the room for his presentation, please. And once again, I would like to remind everyone that you should not be moving or leaving out of the room during the presentations. You're free to do what you want right now and keep your silence, but when we are actually presenting and answering the questions, so you should not be moving outside the room. If you need a bathroom break quickly, you have to make it quick and you have to make it between the presentations. And that includes the question answering segment as well. Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Just give us 1 second as people are still moving in the room. Once these people are out of the room, we will close the doors. So once again, please make it quick and leave the room. Thank you. If you just arrived in the room, please find your seating on the picture shared by ID Europe. If you can't find it, take a seat at the back. You should not be standing. Thank you. Okay, we have to close the doors now. Okay, there are no doors, Mati says. Sad. We'll close the invisible doors. Nobody can move now, please.
Oopsies.
Okay, and that applies to the online people as well. As a reminder, you should not be letting people in during presentations or question answering periods. Okay, and so Ahmed is here as a candidate for the position of the president, and he will have 5 minutes to present, and followed by 3 minutes of questions that will be asked. Unfortunately, we did not receive a visual support in the time limit that we have set, so Ahmed will be verbally presenting his candidature. You may start when you're ready, Ahmed.
Phenomenal. Okay. Dearest IFMSA family, representative of NMOs of 1.5 million students worldwide. let's go back 75 years ago. And let's hear about a 21-year-old medical student who met up in this city with a few other medical students and established this federation. And this is what they said between themselves.
International Federation of Medical Student Association. And then we sighed deeply and said, okay, so be an organization with such a name cannot survive. Nobody can remember IFMSA. This is impossible.
So an organization with such a name cannot survive. That was sort of the idea that they had. They didn't have planes, they didn't have much going on. They just met and they had a vision. And that is why the focus of my candidature is about the humanity and it's about the crises that come up in our terms. Regardless of everything, we stand right here. I was an NMO president, sitting in those chairs just like you guys. I was part of the IFMSA international teams, team of officials, and then executive board currently. And I asked myself the same question. How many volunteers do we have in IFMSA, and what is the volunteerism culture in IFMSA? If we're being honest, majority of our work is crisis-driven. Some members work very, very hard to make up for so many other works. Other members lead to burnout. And we come to a point where we assess the health of our organization. As president, we need to know that we are an ecosystem. IFMSA is an ecosystem. Our alumni are not symbolic. They need to be involved. We have board of recommendation members who we can make use of. We have our team of officials whose mental health needs to be put first in various types of initiatives and ideas that could be implemented. Care needs to be within our infrastructure. My candidature contains a lot of different information about this. We need psychological safety. We need to provide a lot of different roles for crises to be managed. The same way that today might have been a crisis for so many people, and the same way that it was managed is the same principle and resilience that we need to carry forth in things that we foresee. So ideas are endless. Strategic plans that exist that we need to follow up upon cannot just be there for the sake of planning. It needs to be a trackable system. Something we follow up upon, something we implement with clear priorities. And president must be the shield, not just someone who is in the spotlight. And we need to remember this within the humanity of IFMSA, the culture that we have, the meetings that we foresee, our TO meetings, our GAs, that most oftentimes lead us to exhaustion when it should lead to a lot of different connection. There's always something that's repeating, and that has been the root center cause of my candidature, is to know how to approach these things as a unified upfront while still upholding our baseline tasks of maintenance, knowing where IFMSA stood 75 years ago, where it's going in the future, as this is an 18-month commitment. And we have grown. We have seen a lot of different resiliency. I firsthand have been aware and seen that we have a lot of internal work that continues to be repeated and continues to be represented also externally, but there needs to be a sort of an alignment in that matter. And what I could think of most in IFMSA is its people. So I decided to quickly go up to some people and ask them what IFMSA means to them and what could they describe it in one word.
Lifelong friendships.
Building the future.
Equality. Unity.
People.
Cult.
Family.
Craziness. Accountability. Happiness.
Green for school. Traveling. Fun.
Plenaries. Home.
Ooh. Merchandise.
Exchange. Life.
Freedom.
Global health. Everything that I learned from my medical student life was due to IFMSA. Opportunities. Friends.
Make me the person that I am today.
So we realize that the health of the federation is dependent on the health of the people. And as president, I plan to put that first within our annual working plans, within our strategic planning, within our follow-ups, and within all of our efforts from our standing committees, from our external affairs, from our humanity that we foresee as an organization.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. The time is up. Thank you. So you will have 3 minutes for your questions. Would you like them 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3? What would you like?
All the same, to be honest. You decide.
You're the candidate.
Okay, we can take all of them together or 1 by 1. I don't know.
Max 3 then.
Max 3,
Okay, let's
all
do
of
3
them.
by 3 then.
Let's
Okay.
take as much as possible.
In this case, you have 3 minutes to answer the questions. The questions themselves don't count in the time.
Yes.
Any animals that would like to ask questions to Ahmed, please raise your voting card or your hand on Zoom. Okay, so I'll take 3. I don't see anyone on Zoom, so I'll take 3 from the room then. Starting with MMSA Malta, and then MSI India, and then I'll do, I'll do AMSR Moldova. Okay, so we'll take these 3 first. You may start anytime, MMSA Malta.
So, hello, well done for your presentation. Our question is this. EB roles can lead to a struggle with deadline compliance, inconsistent communication across the EB, and burnout within the team of officials. If, midway through your term, multiple EB members are missing deadlines, communication becomes reactive instead of strategic, and morale is visibly declining, what concrete systems would you implement to restore accountability, maintain motivation, improve internal communication, and protect team motivation without creating a culture of micromanagement?
Okay, we'll take the next question. If this question was already written beforehand, can I please ask you to send it actually to our secretary so that we actually have exactly it? Thank you so much. Okay, who do we, MSI India, you have the mic? Okay, excellent. You may go.
Thank you for the presentation, Ahmed. In your plan of action, you have mentioned that you will plan to coordinate legacy testimonials. It is an amazing initiative. I just wanted to know how you're planning to ensure the sustainability of legacy testimonials in the terms coming after you.
Thank you, MSI India. Okay, so we'll take the last of the 3, AMSR Moldova.
Yes. Thank you so much for your presentation. Our question is, what indicators will show that your strategy works?
Thank you so much for all 3 questions. Ahmed, you may go whenever you're ready. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. So MMSA Malta, thank you so much for your question. I believe in my candidature, you can see there's a lot of uprootedness in the crises that come up in the communication and the efficiency and the missed deadlines. When a deadline is missed, I think we have to stop and pause and ask ourselves, why? What's the reason? What's the crisis? What's the thing that needs to be solving? Is someone is actually not responsive, or are they busy with 30 other things related to their positions? So when it comes to establishing boundaries, the way we accept feedback, the way we foresee, I've personally been a part of several teams with really, really great team dynamics that I've been able to set up from the start of the term. So I envision the same thing with the team of officials. Tom 0 or Tom 1 are very, very, very great meetings to establish those boundaries, to establish how we as a team like to cooperate, how we like to receive feedback from each other, how we want to, what sort of approvals are needed from who wants to be communicated to in a certain way. So that, throughout the term, people change their preferences. A team of officials are elected not to be managed, but to be the forefront of their own work. You are there as a guidance, as a structure, as a pillar, to be there for them as a human before all, and then try to work out exactly what are the certain issues that are coming up. And by realizing issues come up, we address that efficiently throughout the entirety of the term. From MSI India legacy testimonials, I think this needs a lot of dedicated sort of PRC work and outreach work from a lot of different alumni and experienced members, because I believe a lot of the different IFMSA core work may get lost in transition. And this is something that we need to actively map out to see exactly who's out there, how can we involve them, and how can we showcase their amazing work. We have international team members who are so much more experienced than anyone, let's say, IFMSA has seen. We have general members, not even in the IT, who are so experienced more than anyone in the IT. So it's about that sort of variability that exists and how can we make the best of this for the best of our federation. And for ASMR Moldova, what indicators would show that the strategy works? Okay, so there's a pillar in my candidature that's actually about team evaluation systems. And I rooted that in sort of volunteer management research that sort of tests dysfunctions of a team. And if we're assessing the strategy of team upkeeping or team building or team dynamics, you sort of have to root your work in that literature that exists in NGO management work, in these various different studies that could be utilized for these things. So clear indicators, I would say healthy working systems, but how would you exactly, clearly, actionably mention that? That's something very important, but would be through our internal, let's say, evaluation systems and questions and different forms of assessment that we utilize and upkeep throughout the term for all of our IFMSA international team members, team of official members, and yeah, even NMOs in this point.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Your time is up for your questions. Thank you. And I apologize if I missed the letters of your name, ASMRM Moldova. So, can we please have Ahmed out of the room and bring Kana in? Thank you. Rodaina has to stay out of the room as well. And I just would like to tell the OC that apparently the people moving in and out of the room are part of the OC. And if we could have them stop doing that, that would be great because we have to be respectful of the presentations. Thank you. Okay, so can we make sure that nobody is moving here? Okay, and so Kana is here as a candidate for the position of president. We got to make sure that nobody's moving here. You have to stay in the room. You can't leave. You can't come in during a presentation, and that includes the question period. And that applies to those online. You should not be letting people into the room out of respect for the candidates. You have 5 minutes to present. I will time it for you, and then we'll have 3 minutes of questions afterwards. And you may start whenever you're ready. I will change the slides for you.
Hello. So 75 years ago, this federation was founded by students that had a radical idea. And this is that students are not just the passive learners, but the ones who can actually shape policies, societies, and futures. Furthermore, they also believed that competencies such as leadership and advocacy are not just add-on, but something that is a core competence of every healthcare professional. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kana. I'm a final year medical student from Croatia, and it's a pleasure to stand here in front of you and present this candidature for the president for the term 2026-27. Next, please. Before I present my vision, I will tell you something about my journey. So I joined this federation in 2019, yes, before COVID, and I had opportunity to explore every aspect of it, from local, national, and international level, and now serving as Vice President for the External Affairs. Besides that, I successfully survived 10 IFMSA General Assemblies. I also coordinated 2 of them as part of the TO. Was also a member of various small working groups, especially ones focusing on strategic reform and governance reform. Besides exploring IFMSA from the internal world, please, next slide, please. I had the privilege to bring IFMSA to the outside world and represent it externally in front of our partners and in various advocacy spaces, such as one related to WHO and UN. And this was a very valuable opportunity for me because I had full understanding of how we operate internally, but also at the same time, how we are perceived from the outside. Next slide, please. Based on that, I developed my action plan that's based on 5 pillars. First one, reflecting on the values that I would implement, so accountability and transparency, adaptability, availability, and accessibility. Second one, focusing on leadership. At the end of the day, we are a federation of leaders, so president is the leader who is leading these leaders. In context of IFMSA Executive Board, I would ensure smooth handover and also ensure a workspace dynamic that ensures active decision-making and also sustainable working conditions. In context of IFMSA team of officials, I would also support the good onboarding and ensure collaborative spaces and spaces for follow-up through various meetings, whether group meetings or regular follow-up individual meetings. Next one, please. In context of governments, my priority is strengthen the secretariat. So something that I would like to explore is how we can further enhance its role in advocacy and finances, because this is the standard practice for most of the NGOs and something that could take some of the workload from the officials. In context of finances, explore how we can better utilize that we are organization registered in Europe. A lot of other NGOs are using this, and it's something that could help us make our activities more sustainable, both for the organizers, but also for all the other members to participate. In context of reform and sustainability, I highlighted 3 aspects: constitution and bylaws, so to follow up on the reform. Second one, leadership structures. So as of now, our federation is counting on our leaders being resilient. And I think this is something very, very, very wrong. Change, like the world around us has changed and we haven't adapted. I have been already working on it within my own LO's team, but it's something that will require like more comprehensive approach. And last but not least, general assemblies and regional meetings. We also have a lot of issues with young sustainability when it comes to agenda and also finances. So it's also something that I would like to tackle. Next, please. When we talk about sustainability, it's not what we do, but how we can actually make it sustainable. Starting with the handovers, I would like to propose and develop a structured approach to the handovers that does not differentiate from term to term and depends on various groups of the officials. In context of strategy follow-up on the implementation of the new strategy and support officials developing their regional strategies and standing committee strategies. And then context of mental health, something that we talk a lot about in IFMSA, but it's not very implemented. Even UNICEF expressed concerns for us, saying that they would like to make a study about us so they can help us do that challenge. So I would love to create an atmosphere that supports unavailability mechanisms, task sharing, corporate style breaks, and also breaks after intense working periods, monitor well-being, and explore how we can train officials and better support them also within inside and also outside. And last one, please, talking about the networks. Alumni, one of the groups that is being very not utilized. It has a huge potential. There is an issue that we don't have a clear role of the alumni. We also don't know how to engage them. So this is something that I would like to make more clear and explore how they can contribute more to the federation and our activities. Next slide. Board recommendation, appoint the new board, taking consideration gender and regional representation. And last but not least, external representation in role of president, how appropriate support VP in spaces where this is required. And last, please. I have seen IFMSA at its best. I have seen IFMSA struggling, but for these 75 years, we have been moving forward because we keep showing up. And this is something that I want to honor. I want to strengthen what it works and ensure that this federation is human and sustainable for the ones that are next to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will then proceed to the question period. How would you like your questions?
More at once, please. More, 2?
2? Okay. Okay, so you have 3 minutes for questions. Questions are not counted within this time limit. We will take 2 questions at a time. I will take 1 question from the floor and 1 from online to start. please raise your voting card if you would like to ask a question. And if you are online, please raise your hand. Someone different at the back with the flag. There's a glare I can't see. Like, what is the flag?
Sudan.
Okay,
Medicine.
gotcha. Yes, thank you. It's like glaring with the lights here. Medicine Sudan, you will go from the in-person one. Just 1 second. Let me see if there's anyone online. No, okay. So I'll take one more question from the floor here in person. Please raise your voting card if you have one. Okay, and then Portugal. All right, Medicine Sudan, you may go when you're ready.
Okay, thank you, Kana, for the presentation. You mentioned in your plans that you would like to work on reducing the stress of the GAs and regional meetings, but you didn't mention specific actions on how to implement that. So what are your ideas? Thank you.
Thank you, and then Portugal.
Carlos, him, and in Portugal, thank you for the presentation. What do you envision for the position of General Assistant to President, considering that his position was left vacant this term? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the 2 questions. Kana, you may go when you're ready. I'll just request you to speak closer to the mic and clearly so that our secretary assistant catch what you're saying.
Okay, I think Medicine Sudan, thank you so much for the question. There are various aspects that bring stress in general assemblies and regional meetings, both from the IFMSA internally and both externally. So what I think is very important in terms of team of officials have good capacitation. So if you have officials that are capacitated good, that can lead, that are aware of things, a lot of things can be like planned in advance and also prevented. It will reduce stress of the officials and it will also better support the teams that are working on it. So reduce stress there. So the focus is on capacitation. It's the same for the organizing committees because a lot of things come up because people are just not being aware or things are not being communicated. So if we can develop more comprehensive onboarding for the organizing committees, I think it's also from that side that would better support them. I mentioned financial aspects that we could potentially explore. And when it comes to members and participants, I think I was mostly reflecting on August meeting General Assembly. That was very traumatic. I think for most of us, is the way how we plan the agenda. Like usually our General Assembly looks that we travel for I don't know how many days. We gather here and then we spend hours and hours in the plenaries trying to figure things out. So it's also something that with a good preparation we should try to fix and explore how within the agenda we can have more spaces for networking, collaboration, and exchange of experiences between NMOs. But definitely more sustainable agenda with appropriate working hours. So this is both for general assemblies and regional meetings. And in terms of the position of the general assistant to the president, yes, for this term it was a bit of a vacant position. But something that happens in the IFMSA that we love to take all of the tasks on ourselves, talking from the perspective of the official, which is not very sustainable. So all the things that I have mentioned in my action plan when it comes to developing ideas, when it comes to dealing with administration, I would like to engage my general assistant with, and I think this is something that they can support me with.
Thank you. You have 45 seconds. Our Zoom also just crashed on my computer, but we're still online. It's just this was screen share, which is good. Okay. 45 seconds. IMP Ecuador had their hand raised on Zoom. Did you have a question?
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Is this a question for Kana?
Yes.
Okay,
Hello,
please go
Kana.
ahead.
Hello, Kana. Congratulations for your candidature for IFMSA president. My question from my NMO is, what concrete actions would you take as IFMSA president to better support and strengthen the other regions, and in special the Americas regions?
Okay, you have 45 seconds.
Can I ask for clarification? Do you have any specific aspect that you would like me to address, or is it a general question?
Is in general. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. So when it comes to supporting of region, I think we have to start with understanding the needs of the regions. So as president, I would ensure that we do a good, in collaboration with the executive board, good baseline assessment, and then based on that support every of the vice president to develop concrete plans in general, and then on that to support concrete plans of the regional directors that can support regions on specific items. The question is very, very, very general, so my answer is also very general, but I feel if we have clear needs, then we can utilize right resources, like right people who can support region in specific aspect. And also what we should also ensure is, let's say, create spaces where region can collaborate jointly. I think it's not only on us as of officials, but we can also learn a lot from each other.
Thank
and
you,
support each
Kana.
other.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can we please have the candidates that were outside back into the room? We will proceed with the next position. Do we have Khalil in the room? Okay, he's coming. Just 1 second. Okay, this is just between presentations. You should not be talking. It's not time for socials. You have to save energy for NFTP tonight. Please have a seat as soon as you can. People at the back, sit down, please. If you want to leave, please leave. If you want to stay, please stay seated and find your seat as soon as you can. There are still people at the back not seated and moving. I don't know if you know the game. It's like the signal light of like red, yellow, and green. This is red. So red means stop. And you should stop walking. And you should sit. Okay, please, guys and girls, and those that don't identify as either, please have a seat. Okay. Don't see us, you see me. Okay, can we then have silence in the room? All right, excellent. And so, Khalil, you'll have 5 minutes for your presentation. I will change the slides for you, followed by a period of 3 minutes of questions. You may start whenever you are ready.
Dearest IFMSA family, we are not made alone. We are the sum of the people who leave their mark on us. This was the first sentence I wrote in my motivation, and it is the first statement I'm going to say today in this presentation. But I am not saying it for the sake of the statement. It is a phrase that I deeply resonate with, because it describes me, and it describes IFMSA. Because IFMSA was not built on mere moments. It was built on systems. It was built on continuity. And it was built on people who are ready to consolidate those systems. Hi, everybody. My name is Khalil. I'm from IFMSA Morocco, and I'm your candidate for the position of Vice President for Activities, serving also as Secretary General for the 26-27 term. I am not here to change IFMSA. I am here to consolidate it. Next slide, please. So now, let's get to know me a tiny bit more. I'm in my third year of medical school in Morocco. I am currently serving as the program's general assistant for this term. I've served as PCEHRH and also as my UNMO representative for activities. So I've been through and within programs for the last 3 terms. I've attended 4 GAs, 1 regional meeting, and 4 NGAs. And I've facilitated more than 100 hours worth of sessions on all sorts of topics, mainly programs, activity management, and human rights. So now that you know me a tiny bit more, let's get to the fun part, my vision. Next slide, please. I envision an IFMSA that is data-driven, that is strategically aligned with strong democracy, legal compliance, structural security, and impactful programs. But this vision, we need to make it a reality. And for me, it is going to be through these 6 pillars, which I will go through right now. Next slide, please. Pillar 1, securing IFMSA's systems. And I'm going to do that by maintaining ANBI status and legal compliance, implementing Secretariat's standard operating procedures consistently, establishing a structured risk mapping framework, and reviewing insurance and external support mechanisms. When we secure IFMSA's core systems, we can build for more development, because if our core is not strong, everything is just going to fall down. Next slide, please. And for my second pillar, it is strengthening democratic processes. We all know that our IFMSA plenaries are the highest instances we have in this federation and where all of our decisions are made. So I plan on strengthening it by strengthening the plenary team selection criteria, establishing clear post-GA implementation timelines, ensuring the technical readiness for the hybrid and online voting, and then ensuring the timely readiness for the EVEMs, the EVMs, and then the TOMs. Next slide, please. Pillar 3, learning from our assemblies. And yes, I'm going to be talking about evaluation. Evaluation is one of the aspects of IFMSA that is most underlooked. We have so much data we can use, yet we don't use it effectively. So my first point is to conduct evaluations based on all aspects of GAs, not just based on the sessions themselves, but about the experience of the participants, the OC, the finances, the logistics, anything that we might use, because that data is something that we can base for our actionable reforms. Which leads me to my second point, transforming feedback into actionable points. If we're going to make evaluation forms and then put that data somewhere and call it an evaluation report, then that does not serve much purpose. We need to turn that data and all of that information into actual points we can use for future generations. And then identifying what to keep, what to improve, and what to avoid within our own evaluations. And then structuring systematic handovers between the terms so that all of our progress and our evaluation, which we took so much time on, it does not go away. Next pillar, please. Stronger international teams. The ITs are the basis of our work here in IFMSA, and I plan on ensuring the early coordination between EBTO, dividing the tasks with clear timelines, with role division and expectations from very early on in my elect period, transparent and compliant call processes, and then the timely execution of the ITPC calls, how many calls it might take. Next slide, please. Institutional memory. What we do not write down and store is going to be lost. And a federation that is 75 years old has some unlimited data we can use, and there's always room for improvement. So first of all, digitizing and reorganizing IFMSA's central archives. And this is something that has already been started, and I plan to continue it. Implementing a structural retention and disposal policy. So the documents we need are going to be kept, and the documents that were very specific to certain periods of IFMSA might be disposed of. Ensuring accessible and usable historical records, because yes, if we have institutional memory but we don't use it, it doesn't serve much purpose. And then safeguarding institutional continuity across term. This should not be something that we're going to be doing in one term, but rather something that needs to be continued in order for us to actually use our institutional memory. Next slide, please.
Thank you. 5 minutes. Okay, we have 3 minutes for question. How would you like your questions, Khalil? 2 at 2? Okay, so we'll take 2 questions at a time. First, I would like to see if there's anyone online that would like to ask a question. If you do, please raise your hand. I will take 1 online and 1 in person. Okay, nobody online raised their hand, so I'll take 2 in person then. Please raise your voting card if you have any questions. Limza, Lithuania, and then Hamsik, Hungary.
أستاذ Shihar Limsa, Lithuania, thank you for your candidature. And my question would be, what steps are you planning to take to align the acceptance criteria between programs? Because current outcomes show a very distinct discrepancies in quality standards in between different programs, and that leads to very inconsistent approvals that don't always reflect our benchmarks. So basically, to make it simpler, is high quality applications don't get approved while low quality applications in other programs get approved.
Okay.
1 second, we'll take the second question before you answer. Hamzik, Hungary.
Thank you for your presentation, Beata Várkonyi, Hamzik, Hungary. Our question would be if you could elaborate on your sixth pillar. Thank you.
Okay, you have 3 minutes. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, so for the first question, and this is something that I'm going to talk about in my sixth pillar, but for me, and this is something that I saw this year and I've noticed, is that what we're going to do is that we're going, from the beginning of the term, when the programs team is elected, try to have a competency module, but that is very detailed and maybe have some sort of document that's going to be kind of to guide what is a good enrollment and what is a bad enrollment, but not just vaguely, but go into specifics for each specific program. Because you get a lot of questions when the things are vague, and what happens is that one PC might accept a thing and another one won't, most probably won't. So it's better if we do some sort of guidelines that are going to be, this is right and this is wrong, so that we do not have to have these discrepancies where good activities are not accepted and bad activities are accepted. As for my sixth pillar, which is IFMSA programs above and beyond, so we've arrived at a state where the IFMSA programs have all gone under renewal, and now is not the time to do the renewal actually, but to just focus on the implementation and to track the implementation. And how we're going to do that is that we're going to track, yes, the enrollment and reporting data, but also look for other data, because it is going to show us if the renewals are actually working, if the NMOs are actually responding to those renewals, and if it is making it easier for the NMOs to engage with the programs. As for my second point of the sixth pillar, it's going to be even easier enrollments and reports. We've already done big steps towards that this term. We've made the enrollment and report forms quite simple, and I'll try to look for more ways and then ask for more information and input from the NMOs to make it even easier and to make the whole IFMSA program not seem like a hassle and not seem like a problem for everybody. And I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you so much. Are there any more questions for Khalil? We have 1 minute and 3 seconds. I'll take someone online and someone in person. Nobody online? Okay. Anyone in person that would like to ask questions? Okay. I don't see any hands raised online or voting cards in person. Thank you so much, Khalil. Thank you. Okay. So we will proceed with the next position. Okay. We are continuing with Vice President for Finance, serving also as Treasurer. Vito Eniki Mendes Ramos. Okay. Please, if you're leaving the room or entering, hurry up. Please don't take your time. Remember to everyone that you should not come in the room or leave the room during presentations or question answering periods. And that applies to people on Zoom as well. If you just joined, please have a seat as quickly as possible. Thank you for those that are actually hurrying. Okay. Already. Okay. So Vito, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. I will change the slides for you, followed by 3 minutes of questions. Okay, so you may start whenever you're ready.
Okay, so now. Hello everyone, hello malls, general members, TO, EB, plenary team, CCC, FC, everyone. Next slide, please. I'm here again, 1 year after re-electing as Vice President for Finance, serving also as Treasurer. I'm Brazilian, from the name Brazil. I'm 24 years old. I'm serving also this year as your Vice President for Finance. I'm a researcher. I done 3 years of research in my university through the federal government, and I love finance. Well, as you can see, I'm recandidating. So next slide, please. For my plan of action, it's divided into 6 pillars, and we are going to discuss the first one now. Next slide, please, which is the financial governance, continuity, and resilience. For governance and compliancy, the strict adherence to the Constitution and bylaws, and also to the new LGs, which were shared with you yesterday, so you can check it out. Also, development of the new IFMSA budget to 2027, 2028. For the risk management and sustainability, proactive identification of risks, events, cash flow, and dependencies, strengthen internal controls and forward-looking financial planning, and for strategic alignment and accessibility through integration with the FMSA strategy 26-29. Also, the open door transparency, which I'm really trying to have as full as transparency as I can for you to have all the informations with the financial quarterly reports. Next slide, please. For the second pillar, next slide, please. The legal compliance and governance. As you may know in the president sessions today, I was talking about our software, our new software issuing our invoices in the Netherlands. And this is mainly for prevention of data fragmentation across the terms. Because as a VPF now, I can tell like it's really hard to find data from 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's very difficult because we all put in Google Drive. And Google Drives got deleted. We have the GDPR. We have a lot of things. That's why we have our new software platform that's issuing the invoices. And for these, all the NMOs will have a numerical indexing system that will be shared with you very soon. If some of your delegates already have the invoice of the pre-WHA, you already have your number. We're going to talk this later. For the EFF, the Ethical Framework of Fundraising, we are going to adopt a new one, hopefully in August meeting. It will be shared with you very soon, the new draft. Next, please. The third, next, please. Sustainability, financing of IFMSA events and IFMSA activities and events. For event sustainability and support, a mentorship with 101 meeting with the OCs, especially for RMs, because I'm currently serving 11 RMs, 5 from my term, 5 from the last term, and 1 still from 23, 24, regarding the financial aspects, because they wouldn't pay. So it's really important to have this meeting, this 101 meetings with them. For the GAs and RMs, as have been done, you can always check in the quarterly financial reports, you find all data. Also for TOMs, transition to online formats when necessary to mitigate unnecessary financial burdens. And final location and impact, transparency and timely distribution of entitlement funds. Next, please. Next, please. Fourth, financial support and empowerment of animals, process predictability, timely membership fee, invoicing, and streamlined communication. As I said, we are with our platform. We are going to have these all saved in our platform. and this data will always be available for the next VPFs as well. For the structure, ADI, and finance as well, we have to be as much as we can be fair for the distribution of the funds of staff on GAs and also regional meetings. Next, please. Fifth, next, please. Regional responsive financial strategies. For each one of the regions, they have their own characteristics. So I must be aware of this. And as I've been, next, please. Sixth, next, please. Integrating collaboration within IFMSA leadership. Here we have the Holy. Next, please. We have team of officials as well as alumni and the finance IT. Next, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vito. So we will have 3 minutes of questions. How would you like to take them?
2 by 2, please.
2 by 2? Okay. All right. So as usual, I will ask the room for 1 question and then the Zoom for another question if there are any. So please raise your voting card or your hand if you have a question for Vito. So I don't see anyone on Zoom. Okay, IFMSA the Netherlands. Is there anyone else that would like to ask Vito a question? No? Okay. All right. IFMSA Netherlands, please go ahead. Your question.
Thank you so much, Vitor. David Woldemariam, IFMSA the Netherlands. You're proposing to further reform the GA and the RM fees based on socioeconomic indicators and also to conduct equity audits. But how will you ensure that these inclusivity measures do not jeopardize IFMSA's liquidity and cash flow?
Thank you so much, IFMSA Netherlands, for the question. That's a very good point because when I started my term as VPF 2526, I didn't, yes, 2526, I wasn't very sure about it because, to be honest, I wasn't aware of all the regulations from all other regions except for mine. After this, after solving all the regional meetings with the RDs, having their budget with them, I was much aware of their regulations. So for Africa region, for Europe region, for EMR, and also for AP region. So since I have now this knowledge and this data, it will make my life and also for the next RDs much easier to evaluate their fees. Because in some regions, they have their own category system for their fees. For other regions, they follow the same as GAs. So to answer your question directly, to have meetings with the RDs. Within this, I will be aware of, and also the new RDs and the former RDs to ensure that this system for them is the best. Because each region is different. We cannot have a standard system for all of them. So making an assessment with all of the RDs and also with the FTAs or finance CPs, FTAs, finance development assistants. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have 1 minute and 35 seconds left. Is there anyone else that would like to ask Vito a question? AMEF Mexico. Anyone else that would like to ask Vito a question? No? Okay, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Vito, for your candidature. Congrats. AMEF Mexico, Aleric Cortez. And the question will be, what makes an IFMSA event financially unsustainable and how will you participate helping OCs to tackle this problem?
Thank you so much, AMEF Mexico. Just to clarify, it's 2 questions.
Okay. Yes, what is your main strategy to tackle the first thing that makes IFMSA events financially unsustainable?
So, IFMSA events?
Yes.
You mean GAs and TOMs and RMs as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. starting now, right? Okay. Thank you so much, Ahmed Mexico, for your question, also for the qualifications. For GAs and TOMs, for GAs and RMs, they are quite different because we already have an allocated budget for them. Oh, well, also for RMs. But for GAs, we have much buffer for how is it structured. For the RMs, for the TOMs, is this for the RMs is the same because we work together within the OC. However, for the TOMs, because at the end, this money always comes from IFMSA central budget. So at the end, the TOMs are the ones that that's why I put in my presentation, that we can propose to have at least one of them in online format to prevent financial burdens to the IFMSA central budget. For the RMs and for the GAs, and one-on-one online meetings with them, because as of now, I know how the OCs really struggle with when it comes to finance to solve all their issues, because it's a lot of expenses, it's visa problems, it's cancellation policies. So summarizing your answer, for GAs and RMs, having one-on-one online meetings with them. For TOMs, what we are spending through the term, and through the term to access. Is it worth it to have this TOM right now? Do we have enough money? If we do, let's proceed to in-person one. If we do not,
Thank you, Vito.
online.
Your time
Thank you so
is
much,
up.
Matia.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. You're looking at all my info now. Okay. All right. So, okay. So we're moving on to another EB position. This position has 2 candidates. So I would like to have the returning officer to please have Mina escorted out of the room. Yeah, she's at the back. Yes, we're coming. Thank you. Okay. Please make your way in and find your seat as soon as you can. If you need to leave, please leave as soon as you can. Please stay seated and find a seat. Okay. All right. So once again, I would like to remind everyone, you cannot leave the room or come into the room when there is a presentation or when questions are being answered. This is the same for online. We cannot let people inside the Zoom when there is a candidate presenting or answering questions. Thank you. Okay. Please find your seat as soon as you can. We're going to share the presentations. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, all right. So Zainab, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. And afterwards, it is followed by 3 minutes of questions. There's still people going inside the room, so I'll just wait for them. Please stay seated. Okay. Oh, you're helping the doors. I see. Thank you, Danny, Laura. Okay. All right. So Zainab, you're ready to go whenever you are. Oh, 1 second. The Zoom is not seeing. Okay. I am sorry. All right. We are good to go whenever you are ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zena Shamsuddin, humbly serving as the Regional Director for the EMR for this term and presenting my candidature for Vice President for membership for the term 26-27. Next slide, please. I had prepared a whole presentation for today and it had been ready for a while. This presentation grew from a passion that has been there ever since I discovered the real meaning of the word membership. However, in today's event, I find it very not natural of me to stand here and pretend that we live in a world of rainbows and butterflies. My country is being bombed and I'm choosing to stay here. Why? I'm choosing to present. I'm choosing to stand in front of you. It's for one reason, because I believe in what IFMSA stands for. And the main stakeholder of IFMSA is its members. I've been repeating this for a while. My fellow TO members know this. They've heard this. It's not the first time they hear about this. And this is where my real motivation to apply for this position stems from. Next slide, please. Next one as well. Next one as well, please. Okay, I'm gonna skip through my experience. You can read it later on, but I would like to let you know where all of this started from. All of this started in Tom 1. We were sitting around the table discussing IFMSA, discussing our vision for IFMSA. And with my fellow RDs, we noticed that the one thing stopping this federation from reaching its full potential is that we're not joined as one. And this is where the idea of one IFMSA started from. I have built, next please, Cameo. I have built my entire plan of action based on exactly this concept of one IFMSA. Whether if we think about it in terms of CB, if we think about it in terms of support to NMOs, if we think about it in terms of general assemblies and crafting president sessions, all of this can fall under one IFMSA. So through a member-centered action, through member-centered approach, by supporting our NMOs, those in need, proactively, not waiting for the crisis to happen and then seeing what can be done about it, by showing our RDs that they are capable of actually changing lives within the NMOs of the region, by empowering NMOPs to be able to make the change they believe they can make. This is how we, as a federation, can actually make the real change. Next, please. NMO support starts at any moment, from the moment the NMO decides to join IFMSA all the way to its years of membership later. But NMOs fall in crisis because we live in a world that's very, very unstable. And it's on us to support these NMOs. It's on us to create contingency plans, frameworks that will be there to help us. Next, please. Our role as an executive board member does not stop at membership. We need to look at the entire thing, but we need to look at a vision that would support this framework or this proactive approach that we would like to hold all together. And this is where I will come from. I will come from the approach of an NMO, as I had served as on the local level, on the national level, and on the regional level. I know how NMOs think and how they function. Next, please. Okay, supporting NMOs does not only limit itself at crisis. We need our NMOs to thrive. We need the NMOs that are actually lucky to be stable, to be able to thrive, to unleash the potential of every member, every medical student in these NMOs. And we will support them to do this by creating CB materials that will actually be helpful and that will be sustainable. Next, please. We will also definitely coordinate with RDs, the RMs and their development to be able to ensure that RMs are sustainable for the RDs, for the RTs, but also for the hosts. Next, please. And I will definitely serve as a EB contact person for the regional meetings I will be there for the RDs for them to make sure that their vision comes through, for the NMOs to ensure that the RM is their safe space, and also for the members to get to know IFMSA through these RMs. Next, please. Finally, equity, diversity, and inclusion oversight. And these are not words I take lightly at all. EDI is something that we always mention, but we often fail to adapt to, and we often fail to actually apply. And it's very, very important for us to understand what EDI is. And this starts from the very basic level of us rethinking its definitions, restructuring its application, and making sure that through small steps, through campaigns maybe, through collaboration with individual NMOs, we can have a federation-wide EDI application.
Thank you, Zena.
Thank you.
5 minutes. Thank you. Okay. So now we're doing the questions. You will have 3 minutes in total for answering questions. The questions themselves don't count in the timing. How would you like to receive your questions?
One by one, please.
One by one? Okay. Okay. So I will first start asking if anyone has any questions for Zainab. It can be from the floor, in person, or on Zoom. So I'll take Ajax Catalonia.
Hi, thank you, Zainab. Paula Sheher from IX Catalonia. The duties of the VPM are very extensive, and there's a lot of several duties. And your point of action, I noticed that did not mention the membership IT. So do you have any plans or any ideas on how to work with the membership IT? Because we think it's very, very important.
Of course. Okay, thank you so much for the question. I did not mention them, just like I hadn't mentioned the regional team in my previous candidature, just because I believe that only through a thorough elect period can someone actually understand what the structure of the team needs to be and assess what the needs are, and that's the only reason why they were not mentioned. That does not mean that they will not be the main pillar in making the entire plan of action succeed. Because without a proper team that supports you, you cannot do anything. One hand cannot clap, and one member cannot do anything. One individual cannot do anything. But I do know that for sure that a position related to CB development for leaderships, for NMO leadership, would be added to the membership team, whether it will be added to one of the existing positions or it will be added as a new position. I will discuss definitely if elected with the predecessor to assess together what best fits the team, because at the end of the day, unless you are deep in the mud, you don't understand the day-to-day interaction, if you want, of the team dynamics.
Okay, thank you. You have 1 minute and 54 seconds left. Anyone else had questions for Zainab? IFMSA Brazil.
Hi, Zainab. I'm Carolina. So congratulations on your candidature. As we know, associate members currently have voting rights. However, at the moment, IFMSA Brazil is the only associate NMO that is not able to exercise this right. Do you have any ideas or plans to help address the situation as VPM elect and VPM? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. I cannot lie and say this is not one I expected. This is the one question I expected while preparing the candidature. And to be completely honest, I don't have an answer for you now, but I can tell you that I am part of the bylaws reform small working group. And we understand very, very well that our bylaws are not perfect. And specifically the membership part of it. And we noticed from AM25 and the number of BCPs that were provided for membership specifically, that we need to work a lot on this. So what I can promise is to work on it. Whether this goes or not is a General Assembly decision first. And second, this is also a best interest thing. But definitely, this is not something that I don't have in mind, and this is not something that is being overlooked or you're just forgotten about.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, either in person here or on Zoom? No? Okay. Thank you so much, Zainab. Okay. Could we please have Zainab escorted out of the room and have Mina come back into the room? Thank you. Okay, for those that are coming in, please hurry up and get seated. Okay, can I have some more silence, please? All right, if you're leaving the room, please. Thank you. Okay, all right. So Mina is also applying for the position of Vice President for Members. You'll have 5 minutes to present and 3 to answer questions afterwards. And you may start whenever you are ready. I will change the slides for you.
Okay, so hi everyone. So where do I even begin? When I joined IFMSA almost like I think 5 years ago at this point, I didn't really think it would change my life as much as it did, but it did. And it's not just like the federation; it's the people, all of you, the members, who truly changed my life. We are all like scattered across 5 regions, divided by 24 time zones, but we're still like united in this little world of ours. So to those people who changed me and shaped me along the way and became my chosen family, you are the reason why I am candidating for the Vice President for Members for term 26-27. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is just like, I guess a little bit of context. Thank you. So who am I? I'm Mina. I just turned 24, and I'm from IFMSA, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I am a 6th-year medical student at the Faculty of Belgrade. Next slide, please. As I said, I started 5 years ago, and I climbed my ladder up to the top. I started out in exchanges, had many positions there, became an NMO president, and I also sort of like tried out in the international waters, again in exchanges as Korea AU, and also this year as MGA. So under my belt, I have 7 general assemblies, 2 regional meetings, a plethora of other meetings, and countless hours of sessions. Next slide, please. And then my plan of action, which is probably like the most important thing for you. And it is basically consists of 6 pillars, which are closely intertwined with each other. Next slide, please. So the NMOs, what I want to do for you, I want to be your advocate. I want to represent you. I want to be the bridge between you, the EBTO, and I want to prioritize your needs because you are this federation's #1 priority. I will do that through working with RDs, providing necessary support, and just catering to all of your needs. Another thing that we forget is accountability and transparency. So I would like to reinforce that within the EB and TO. Again, bring the NMOs as like their #1 role in decision making. Encourage you to collaborate, to share your ideas, and hopefully prevent any more information overload through reviewing and reinforcing the server and communication guidelines, which we're not really doing right now. Next slide, please. Teams, another very important pillar of this plan of action. So we have the EBTO and SUBCO. Again, as I said, be a bridge between you and these structures, and also collaborate with different officials on different things, such as like membership fee, payment plans, membership engagement strategies, and again, with SUBCO and Plenary team on current Plenary procedures, their evaluation, and any ways we can better them. Again, regional directors, which are like one of like the most important things here. And I would like to strengthen the relationship between them, the membership IT, membership review committee and follow-up committee, and also capacitate them and their regional teams on members engagement while also providing support. And of course, the membership IT, which is one of like the most important things for a VPM, because a VPM cannot exist without his IT. So capacitate the IT, provide constant support, and of course, upgrade certain IT positions while also keeping their core responsibilities. Next slide, please. And the membership. One thing that is quite controversial always is the membership fee, something that I have felt on my skin as an NMO president. So I would collaborate with the VPF on creating a more sustainable adjust system that would actually take into consideration the NMO's financial status and not just like the GDP of their country, because that does not like represent who we are as organizations. Again, suspensions, keep proper track of NMOs, of course, prevent suspensions. And again, this would be part of like crisis management and utilize the NMO risk score for proper monitoring and support delivery. Membership review committee, I would like to align the scope of work with the IFMSA constitution and bylaws and create a standardized approach to membership applications and potentially have like the membership review committee be active for like one whole term so that we could sort of standardize that process. And then again, we have the membership follow-up committee. I would like to shape it as a committee that is dedicated to actually following up on UNMOs and being their #1 contact and their actual like support, someone that will help them advance in their journey in IFMSA. Next slide, please. Then we have meetings. Again, a lot of things here, but the most important thing would be to actually, again, provide support to all the OCs, whether it is GAs or regional meetings, and just be there for them, be able to capacitate them, be able to like help them and just be there for them. And also another thing that I would work on with the VPF if possible.
Thank you, Mina. Time is up.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will have 3 minutes to answer questions. The questions themselves don't count in the timing. How would you like them to be taken? One by one? Okay, so I will open the floor to questions, either in person or online. Please raise your voting card or your hand on Zoom. Is that Zimza Zimbabwe? I can't see your flag well. I can't see it. There's a glare. It is? Okay, please. 1 second. We'll bring the mic to you. And then we'll take this question and then we'll go for another round of question afterwards.
Right. Thank you so much, Mina. My question is, how do you plan to address the growing loss of membership among the African NMOs, which is actually contributing to the issue of the regional diversity and contributing to underrepresentation in the decision-making spaces? I hope you got my question.
Thank you very much for your question. Again, that is something that would also have to be done in collaboration with the RDs, because the RD is mainly like your primary contact person. And as we have 5 different regions, we're all greatly diverse. So regional directors know the region the best. They know what suits them the most. What we also need to do is we actually like need to understand that, again, our regions are diverse. Not all of us have the same opportunities. Not all of us can keep up with the membership fees. Not all of us can keep up with the meetings. I mean, it's not the same if someone like from, let's say, Europe travels to Europe, or like from Africa to Africa, or if they like fly over the whole world. Like, we are vastly different, and we just need to take that into consideration and work on that. So I guess that will be it, if that answers your question, I hope.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other questions for Mina? I'll just check online first. Okay, there are no hands raised online. Okay, in person. Okay, I'll take Swimsa Switzerland. Right there.
So first of all, thank you, Mina, for your presentation. My question to you would be, can you elaborate on your plans regarding membership fees, and will there be a cost gap?
Okay, well, first, thank you for your question. Something that I hope would be possible when it comes to the membership fee and the recalculation and a more just system would be actually having some sort of an insight into an NMO's finances through official bank statements, so that they could be calculated based on the amount of funds that an NMO actually has. What we also have, like what you mentioned, are the different gaps. Like, for example, like between groups A and F doesn't mean that like there isn't an NMO in group A that has more funds than someone like maybe in group F. Sorry, it's not F, it's C, sorry. But basically just try to close those gaps. So calculate the membership fee based on like the NMO's actual funds, not like the GDP. As I said, it does not like represent the NMO and its capacity like truly. So I think that would actually help us both like make the system more just and close those gaps that you mentioned.
Thank you. You have 1 minute and 18 seconds. Any more questions? Okay, I'll take Tamza, Tanzania.
Thank you. You have mentioned points including working with your peers a lot, providing necessary support and ensuring sustainability in multiple areas, including financial plans and even plenaries over and over again. While these are valid, they are very broad and expected at the very least from the position that you're applying for. My question to you is, what would you say distinguishes you or exceptionalizes you over your fellow candidate, and what is something unique that you could bring to the table? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. I don't really think I can tell you something that is unique. We are all different as people, and I wouldn't want to compare myself to my counter candidate because we cannot be compared. We come from different backgrounds. We come just like from different systems, and we're both like amazing individuals, like each in our own way. I don't really think I feel comfortable like comparing them. But if I would say something that would make me stand out is that like I have felt all the problems animals have felt on their skin. I created a plan of action with that in mind, with that like with the experiences of like my fellow animal presidents, my friends in mind. So I guess that understanding and like the idea to like prioritize your needs would, I guess, make me stand out.
Okay, thank you. There's 30 seconds left, 30. Any other questions? I'll just check online first. I don't see any hands raised online. Okay, then I'll take someone in the room. Okay, IFMSA Brazil.
Hi, Mina. I'm Carolina. Thanks for congratulations on your candidature. This is the same question as for the other candidate. So as we know, associate members currently have voting rights. However, at the moment, IFMSA Brazil is the only associate NMO that is not able to exercise this right. Do you have any ideas or plans to help address the situation as VPM-elect and VPM? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So I'm, of course, very sorry to hear that you cannot exercise your right to have actually voting rights. What I would like to do is, again, it was in like the rest of my candidature, what I would like to do, probably schedule a one-on-one meeting and get to the root of your problem and start working on it. Now, of course, I would have to like get to know your problem fully before I start making a plan or a strategy. But my number one priority would be for me to solve your problem in any way that I can.
Thank you so much. That is time. Okay. If you need to leave the room, please leave as soon as you can. I would also like to relay the messages from a returning officer that you can only be 2 people seated per NMO at the tables. Otherwise, they will have a lot of difficulties navigating it and giving the mic to the appropriate person. So please, if you are more than 2 members of the same NMO seated at a table, I would encourage you to have the extra members to sit at the back. If you want to leave the room, do it quickly, quickly. Okay, please hurry up. Please settle down quickly, find your seats, find your friends. And please, if you're in the room, you should be seated. You should sit down. Is Medicine Sudan in the room still? No? Okay, good. Thank you. They were online, so I just wanted to double check. Okay, please stay seated. Please find your seat as soon as you can. Can we stop people from coming in the room now, please? Thank you. Okay, so we're moving on to Vice President for External Affairs. We have one candidate, Anna Lakopoulou. Very nice, okay. So you'll have 5 minutes to present. You have 3 minutes for questions afterwards. I will be moving the slides for you. Just let me share the screen. Okay. All right, Anna, whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. I'm a final year medical student in Greece, and I will be presenting you my candidature for the position of Vice President for External Affairs. Next slide. So here are some things about me and my trip in IFMSA, my journey. I have been there for a lot of events, a lot of GAs, a lot of external events, but also have taken over a lot of positions. And somewhere in that path, I realized that although that I always liked my work, I was very passionate, very excited. I always felt I made an impact from being a lorry to being in the IT and the TO. Well, it's not everything up to you. So it's not only about how many hours you work or how passionate you are or how many ideas you have. It's also about the team. It's also about the people that are there to be able to follow up with what you're doing, with your ideas, and being sustainable. So this is what I try to do and to what I would like to implement next year through this position. Next slide. And based on these ideas and these thoughts, I set these pillars for my candidature. You can read all of them in the document, but I'm going to focus only in some things. Next slide. And these are the main priorities. governance and alliance, impactful external engagement, and people and sustainability. Next slide. So right now, I think we're in a very good position in IFMSA externally. We have a lot of externals. We're there for a lot of events. People actually know us, but there are some things that are not quite clear yet. We're not so consistent many times. It's also because our terms are a little bit small, but there are things that can be improved, of course. And our sustainability is a little bit fragile, again, for the same reasons, and there is a lot of follow-up missing. I would say also partly because of documentation reasons that we don't really have that many archives. So what can we do to really be impactful and coherent, sustainable, and work in a strategic way? This is what I would like to do. We need a methodology, we need a way to move forward step by step, not only look what is happening in our term in this year, but make sure that the next people, the following team of officials and MBs will be able to build on what we already have so far. Next slide. So one of the main things that I wrote in my candidature, and I was thinking through this term, is the focus areas alignment, because we're talking about internal and external alignment, but in reality, we're just approaching each other and say, oh, let's do this together, internal, external, right? So this isn't very impactful and it's not sustainable for sure. And this is the reason also, like, our policy documents are not very impactful at the moment because we have them, but we vote on them and then we look backwards and we say, okay, how did we use these policy documents, right? Like, does anyone know how you used the policy document on open science? We don't really know because we didn't exactly plan on it. So I think it's very important to make sure that we have minimal amount of policy documents, which is already being implemented, and try to use them as much as possible within the focus areas framework. And of course, find also other ways to advocate for what we want, because it's not only about policy documents. Another thing that I really wanted to mention is national external affairs. Having been there, like, and knowing the VP, a lot of VPs from NMOs, and especially from my NMO, there are a lot of differences, there are a lot of different stages and different needs for national external affairs, but also we have a lot of things to learn from the NMOs. So I would like to kind of enhance this path of communication. Next slide. And of course, the teams that the VP is coordinating, the LOs and the IT, is very important to empower these people, make sure that they do have the authority, they do have the possibilities, but also that we are going and doing what the bylaws are saying. But make sure that these people are trusted. They are people that have been voted in the General Assembly, they're LOs, so we need to really support them and make sure that they have the space to actually be the leaders they can. Next slide. And lastly, but of course not least, because it's a really, really, really big part, is the executive board. It's very important for it to be coherent, to work as one body. Of course, we are all different people, and I will be there to share my experience.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Time is up. Thank you. Okay, I noticed there's a lot of people walking around still while there's the presentation, and I noticed people were chatting at the back when Nana was presenting. It is very, very rude. So please don't do that. Thank you. And so, Anna, you have 3 minutes for questions. How would you like the questions to be taken? 2 by 2? Okay, all right. In this case, I'll start asking for questions, one from the floor and one on Zoom. Anyone on the floor? Okay. AMSB Bulgaria. And then anyone on Zoom that would like to ask a question for Anna? Okay, no, I don't see anyone, so I'll take another one from the room, IFMSA Joe. Okay, so first, please go ahead for your first question, Bulgaria.
Thank you, Anna, for your insightful presentation. How would you address excessive bureaucracy and limited autonomy that might affect liaison officers' effectiveness? More specifically, what steps would you take to ensure that elected officials feel empowered to lead rather than sidelined in a somewhat overly centralized processes? Thank you.
Okay, and then IFMSA Joe, your question, please.
Hello, this is Ahmed, IFMSA Joe VP. I want to thank you on this amazing candidature. It's obvious that you have significant experience in UN and WHO spaces. How will you ensure that IFMSA's engagement in these high-level spaces does not become visibility-driven, but remains strategically relevant and helpful to the NMOs?
Thank you so much for the questions. So for bureaucracy, I tried to elaborate a little bit also in my candidature, but basically we can't really, at this point at least, change the bylaws, like maybe next year, feel free to. But right now, it is very important and we have to respect that external affairs are going to repeat to ensure that everything is coherent and ensure, because this is the external image of the Federation. I think the bureaucracy comes not only from the bylaws and the approvals that are needed, but also from the pathways. It's not clearly if an external event is a webinar, if it's an in-person external event, if it's for you to be a presenter in an online webinar or just be there and hear the session. So why should the approval be the same? It's not the same, but you don't know it as an LO. So having very clear pathways for procedures, for example, the one that I mentioned, is going to decrease a lot the bureaucracy and the time needed for the LOs, and it's going to make it, and the RDs of course, and make it very easier for them to follow up with the procedures. And of course, communication is key because it creates understanding and an environment that people are trusted. Now for the spaces, the UN spaces, I think it's a little bit complicated. Sometimes visibility is needed for you to be there, but also I think because the NMOs are so different and have so many different priorities, I think if we manage to connect them and connect it with the focus areas that I mentioned earlier, we will find paths also through the programs and what we're doing internally to connect exactly what we're doing. Because this is what our partners also want. They don't want us just to go there and say, oh, hi, we're youth, we're here. They want to show them what exactly we're doing in IFMSA and how we're bringing this information back to our countries. Because in the national and local level is where the actual change is being made.
Okay, thank you. You have 1 minute left for questions. Is there anyone that would like to ask Anna any questions? I'm just going to check online first. Anyone online that would like to ask Anna any questions? Please raise your hand on Zoom if you do. Okay, I don't see any hands raised. So I'll turn my attention into the room now. Okay. All right. MSA Norway. And I'll take another one because you wanted 2 by 2. I'll take another one. Keep your flags raised. Okay. LIMSA Lithuania.
Hi, Anna. Martha from IFMSA Norway. Thank you for your candidature. How will you make sure that more NMOs can participate in external affairs?
Austėja She/Her LIMSA Lithuania. Thank you for your candidature, Anna. And my question would be, as VPE, your success is largely dependent on the output of others, yet you don't have a say in who those team members that TO are. We are currently seeing a gap where TO members don't fully grasp the impact of the work on our IFMSA partners. If you can't replace the team, how will you systematically raise their external intelligence so they understand the why behind the high standards we require?
Okay, I will try to be quick and answer both of them. So for more NMOs to participate, it's a very complex situation because it's not only up to VP, it's also up to, for example, IFMSA budget, which has been discussed, of course, like what can we do and if we can or cannot support delegations, but also an external situation, because right now what is happening with the UN and WHO is decreasing funding by a lot, but there are other ways to find partners and find sponsors. And this is what our partners are doing. So I think we can actually focus more on that. And it is maybe an opportunity at the moment to actually look through that. And for the LOs, I think discussion and communication and maybe a little bit of inspiration is needed, because if you really see what our partners are doing and how interested they are, if you were in Scopy sessions, for example, I think you saw it today, they're really interested in us and they're very excited, and this is what gives me energy and what I think it will give energy also to my team, and I will be there
Anna.
to
Time is
serve.
up. Thank you. Okay, I was told that the stairs are like another door. And so when I'm saying you can't move, you can't go up the stairs either. You can't go out the door, you can't go up the stairs. You have to remain in the room if you want to be here for a certain presentation. So don't move. Okay. So we are moving along to another position of the executive board, vice president for capacity building. Do we have Mia in the room? Yes, I do see her. Okay. People that are getting seated or leaving the room, please make it quick. I'll just. People in the room, if you just got in here, quickly find your seat. It's not time to make friends. You have to make friends with the presenters and the candidates, not amongst yourself. That's for NFDP and for socials. But now we have to focus on the candidates, please. And once again, if you are leaving the room, it means you're walking out of the doors and you're not using those stairs. Those stairs are going to be the death of me because we cannot monitor that. So don't do it. Once again, if you're leaving, quickly leave. And if you want to have a seat, quickly have a seat. Could we please make sure that we don't have any more people coming in or going out? Okay. Take a seat, please. Okay, all right. Okay, so Mia, you have 5 minutes to present. I will let you know when there's 2 minutes and then when there's 1 minute per your request. After that, you'll have 3 minutes of questions. I will be changing your slides. Just let me know when, okay? You may start whenever you are ready.
Okay. Hello, IFMSA family. First of all, I want to ask you 3 questions. You don't have to answer them out loud. You just have to think about them. So, how many of you have attended a training that inspired you, but you didn't know what to do next? Or how many of you have felt capable but not supported? And lastly, how many of you believe CB should outlive the term of one board? If at least one of these questions resonates with you, this candidature is for you. So, hi, my name is Mia Militarich, and this is my candidature for Vice President for Capacity Building for the term 2026-2027. So, who am I? I'm a 5th-year medical student from the Dominican Republic. I'm 22 years old, in fact, 23 years old in 3 days. But national experience, I was the Vice President for Capacity Building and Ethical Committee 2024-2025 in ODEM Dominican Republic, and I was NMO President 2025-2026. In the international level, I was Capacity Building Regional Assistant for the Americas 2024-2025, and currently I am the Regional Director for Americas at Interim for this term. Also, I have like the TNT training, the lead, the Ominifade, and I have delivered more than 100 capacitations. Next, please. Next, please. Those are my guiding values that you can check in my candidature. So, I have a question for you, another question. Let's do a quick diagnostic because in order to see what we can do, we need to see what we need to fix. So, are we a training provider, a leadership factory, a system of sustainable growth, or we're still figuring it out? My purpose as VPCB is that we can confidently become a system of sustainable growth. So what are the challenges we're facing currently in capacity building that of course we will need to assess after too? The ones that I recognize are that we have declining training coherence, certification delays, outdated trainers pool, fragmented data, poor external recognitions, and NMOs who need more support. Because we don't lack trainers, we lack sustainable systems. Next, please. So my strategy. My strategy has 3 big pillars. My candidature has 8 pillars, but this is just like a way to like summarize it all. We have people and teams. So we have the Healthy CB International team, structure handover and toolkits, competency-based modules, and interregional collaboration that is very important. Then we have systems and quality. We have a training audit to see how our trainings are going, clear SRT flow and calendar, digital workspace and resource library, and hybrid-ready manuals. Then we have recognition and sustainability.
2 minutes.
Trainers pool revitalization, certification reform, external accreditation, and joint certified trainings. Because if you ask each region what CB means, you will get 5 different answers. Is it equity? Is it innovation? Is it standardization? Is it access? The point is that they all have to answer the same. That is all of the above. Next, please. Okay, so my first pillar is strategic governance and collaborative work. It's all about the CB team and how I would lead it, and the EB role, and how I will support the standing committee directors. Next, please. The pillar 2, NMO empowerment and SRT procedures. We need to empower NMOs. We need to motivate them to do SRTs, but we need to support them as well. So it's all about that. Next, please. Pillar 3, quality, coherence, and renewal of CB content. We need to have trainings that are actually aligned and that they're standardized. And pillar 4, professional accreditation and external validation. So we as IFMSA trainers can go to other NGOs and actually they can recognize us as trainers. Next, please. Then we have pillar 5, trainers pool revitalization and tracking. That's literally our database, and we need to have it updated. Pillar 6, certification processes and data consolidation, since we are kind of delayed sometimes on that, and you have some delays in receiving your certificates. Next, please. And digital training infrastructure to make it more accessible. In case you cannot go in person, you can always have opportunities online. Next, please. So we have accessibility, inclusion, regional sensitivity, and capacity building plenary. You can check them all in my candidature. Next. So CB shaped how I lead, and now I'm ready to shape how it works. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. How would you like to take your questions, Mia? 2 by 2? Okay, so first I will see if there's someone online and then someone in person. So please raise your hand or your voting card if you have any questions for Mia. It's coming. 1 second. Here we go. We have the slides. Okay, so MSI India. Do we have anyone online? Yes, I see Mitsin Sudan. Okay, so we'll take these 2 questions first. MSI India, please go ahead with your questions. Once again, the questions don't count in the timing of the 3 minutes.
Deepit, MSI India. First of all, thank you for your presentation, Mia. My question is going to be a bit long. I'm really sorry for that. It is in context of NMOs whose CB divisions are not as established as of now, and whatever you mentioned in your action plan. Structures like capacity building builders already exist in IFMSA with adequate documentation. As such, adding another specialized toolkit might add to the already difficult to navigate maze of documentation for such NMOs. I want to know, how do you plan to support such NMOs in situations like these? Thank you.
Okay, Medicine Sudan, please, your question.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, Mia, for your amazing presentation. My question is, I would love for you to elaborate why the following positions were removed. The CBTEDA, the CBEIA, and the CBCMA from the international team structure, but no alternatives were provided. But the justification for this was to maintain a balanced workload. So I would love to understand your thought process around removing international team positions and balancing the workload at the same time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for both of your questions. So first of all, with India, so basically, that's something that when I was CBRA from the Americas, that happens a lot. In Americas, we have a lot of NMOs that actually don't have CB divisions, and I'm sorry that I'm just putting it in like Americas context, but it's for you to understand my thought process and my ideas. So when I was thinking about it, I said, okay, it's very hard sometimes to navigate IFMSA manuals or IFMSA toolkits because we have a lot of abbreviations or we have a lot of processes. So what I had in mind, and I think I have it in my candidature, is that I want to do like CB started toolkits. So it's instead of like a toolkit for like a trainer you're already a trainer, you should have some knowledge. It's gonna be a starter kit. You as an NMO that is not developed, that you don't have your division, it's gonna be for you to really navigate and like really immerse yourself in the CB world. Because to be honest, CB can be very vague if you don't really know what CB is. People think it's just like, oh yes, let me teach you what leadership is, but it's actually everything, even doing a manual. So everything is about like capacitation and teaching NMOs that actually like there's a lot more to it, and giving them and then the resources, and everything will be like a toolkit, and also like Moodle, like it can be like a recorded sessions so they can go through them. And also about Sudan questions. Thank you so much. Basically, to be honest, those were like the main positions I had in mind. So it's true that the balanced workload, it would have to be like I would like to have this EB period elect process to really determine which positions I want to have in my team and which not. And also, it would be like amazing to have it like from my predecessor, like Ahmed, I mean, in case I get elected, to see what he thinks it works in the team and what it doesn't work. Like, even like Zainab said, I think it's very useful to really get that input from people that were actually working in that team with that positions. Because sometimes what we think, I can say like, oh yeah, CBEDA is gonna do this, but in practice, it's not gonna be that sustainable on the long run. So everything is gonna be during the input and EB elect period to really see which positions are gonna be sustainable and useful and impactful for the term. Thank you.
Thank you. Mia, you have 30 seconds, well, technically 26 seconds. I'll take one more question if that's okay. Okay, all right. Do we have any more questions for Mia? Okay, Zimza Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much, Mia. My question is, if external recognition for trainers is one of the most strategic pillars, how do you plan to institutionalize and operationalize this recognition beyond the federation? And what strategic value do you believe it brings in terms of credibility, partnerships, and capacity building, as well as long-term impact?
Can I have a clarification of the question? So your question is how important it is to like get these external partners in the CB context for credibility?
So it's what strategic value do you believe it brings in terms of credibility, partnership, capacity building, and long-term impact? Because you looked at external recognition of our trainers as one of the strategic pillars. So I was just asking, how do you plan to institutionalize it and operationalize it, which was the first component. Then the second component was the strategic value.
Thank you so much. I don't have much time, so I'll try to do it as fast as possible. So that that it's going to be a joint work with VPE. So we have to see which organizations we can work with that actually have these training systems. So for example, you as a trainer of IFMSA can actually like be recognized in those trainings. Like for example, we sometimes have like trainers from other organizations giving like delivering sessions for us. So that's the point, that when it's like an IFMSA trainer, it's like, okay, this person is capacitated. And I think it adds.
Time is up. Thank you so much. Okay, we have come to the last position within the executive board. Woo! Okay, Vice President for Public Relations and Communication. We have two candidates here, and we are starting with Heba, who is online. So can someone please have Matia escorted out of the room? Matia, are you here? Yes, can someone please follow Matia out? Please just wait for one of our returning officers to meet you up. Can you raise your hand, Matia? Wave at us. Over here. Great. And once again, can I just remind people upstairs at the stairs over there that when we say closing the doors, it means closing your doors as well, and you cannot go up the stairs or down the stairs or move on the stairs. Thank you. And for people making their way in, please do so as quickly as possible. Okay. Heba, can you try speaking?
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Excellent.
Can I ask
let
you
me
for,
just
yeah, can I ask you for the visual support as if I were with you guys there? Like
One
my
second.
submitted slides, yeah.
Yes, yes, I was going to give you the slides right away. Just 1 second, let me open them up. Okay. All right, so the slides are up. And so you will have 5 minutes to present your candidature. I will move the slides for you. Just let me know when. And followed by 3 minutes of questions. I would like some more silence in the room, please. People at the back talking? Okay, thank you. All right, you may start whenever you are ready.
Dearest IFMSA family, Salam Habibi. 75 years ago, students just like you and me gathered in Copenhagen and decided to build IFMSA. They believed medical students deserved a shared voice across borders, cultures, and realities. I was meant to stand here with you today, but due to the current circumstances, I could not make it physically. And that left me with one question. When IFMSA speaks, does every member recognize themselves in that voice? And that question is why I'm standing before you here today. Next, please. Let's go back to the beginning of my journey within PRC. My name is Heba. I'm from IFMSA Jo. I have served internationally as PRCRA and I'm currently serving as PRCDA across 2 international positions. I worked inside PRC governance, built capacity building structures, mentored regional assistants, and supported coordination and digital communication across our federation. I have worked with our NMOs. I learned something important. PRC has grown, responsibilities expanded, but its structure has not always grown at the same pace. Next, please. PRC is no longer about stories, campaigns, or branding. It coordinates digital systems. It handles questions of data protection and AI use. It carries IFMSA's advocacy messaging. It supports NMOs through structured communication. And that's where my plan begins. Next, please. My vision is simple. Communication as a responsibility. It means members understand us, our decisions, our opportunities, our processes. They don't feel confused, excluded, or disconnected because communication is not only about being loud, it's about being clear. It means building something that grows stronger each year instead of restarting. And it means making space for every voice, not only the loudest ones. But visions without direction remains intention. So I asked myself, next please, what does successful PRC actually requires? The answer is this roadmap. Next please. Built around 5 interconnected pillars that together strengthen the full ecosystem of PRC. Next please. Starting with the foundation, leadership, practice, growth, and presence. Next please. Everything starts with foundation. PRC needs stability. When rules and the processes are clear, communication becomes clearer too. So alignment has come before speed. And once the foundation is stable, we can build stronger leadership. Next, please. Leadership grows from that stability. IFMSA should not function as separate pieces. It should operate as one aligned network. When the team is aligned internally, representations become stronger externally. And when leadership is coordinated, practice becomes constant. Next, please. Practice is where structures meet action. Communication should not become chaotic in moments of pressure, whether it's a crisis response, event coverage, or a platform management. Preparation should replace the last-minute reaction. Disciplines turns coordination into stability, and stability creates a space for growth. Next, please. Next, please. Growth ensures that progress does not disappear. Training, knowledge sharing, and support national PRC reps must be structured and sustainable. Each term should build on the previous one, not restarting from the zero. And when growth is continuous, presence becomes meaningful. Next, please. Now, presence is the result of everything before it. When the foundation is stable, leadership is aligned, practice is disciplined, and growth is continuous, visibility becomes intentional. Every platform, every campaign, every brand decision that serves a clear purpose. Presence is not about the volume, it's about the impact we are creating. Now, all of you are asking yourself one question. Next, please. Why me? Because I have already worked inside these realities. I understand how decisions are made. I understand where communications slow down, where coordinations break, where structure is missing. I don't see PRC as a division, a separate division. I see it as a responsibility, and I know how to turn direction into execution. Next, please. Dearest IFMSA family, 75 years ago, students gathered in Copenhagen to build something that would last beyond them. They didn't know who would come after them, they just knew their voices mattered. Today, our responsibility is the same, to ensure every medical student feels seen, informed, and represented. When people feel understood, they trust, and when they trust, they act. I'm ready to strengthen our PRC division with structure, clarity, and continuity, and I would be honored to serve as your VP PRC. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. So you have 3 minutes for questions. The questions themselves don't count within those minutes. How would you like to receive your questions? One by one, two, three?
Yes, please, one by one.
One by one, okay. So does anyone have any questions for Hiba? Amza Hong Kong? Can you raise your flag higher next time so that we know you? Okay. Yes, please go ahead, Amza Hong Kong.
Hi, this is Curtis from AMSA Hong Kong. So I'd like to ask a question. So as we're the hosts for APRM this year, what is your plan on streamlining the PRC approval process to reduce waiting times and bureaucracy for NMOs?
Okay, thank you. Can I get a clarification? You are asking about the PRC approvals regarding a brand usage, right?
Yes.
Okay, basically, my main idea through that is that we can get we have multiple type of publication in our organization. Some of them by bylaws should be approved only by the VPPRC, such as merchandise and printed materials. Other stuff we get them approved by your RAs, and if they were not available, any person that can get a delegation of task would do that. And I would ensure that we might edit the bylaws regarding that part to make it more sustainable.
Okay, thank you. Just an FYI for people in the room, when you do this, I don't know if you're raising your voting card or not. Please do this. Thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions for Heba? Excellent, thank you so much, IFMSA Egypt.
Okay, Barghouti Hema, IFMSA Egypt. Thank you so much, Heba, for your plan of action and amazing candidature. Wish you best of luck. So we have a question for you. In your plan of action, you stated that recent experience show that capacity building doesn't automatically occur because tools or training exist, and you propose adding more applied practice sessions based on the animal realities. So we'd like to know what specific gaps, what specific communication gaps do you personally observe in the animals? That's just for adding a new pact. So it would be nice if you give us some concrete examples and situation you have faced. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mustafa. Basically, regarding practice, we actually worked on developing them in the past few years when I was an RA and currently as a DA with multiple animals. We are currently having more sessions that's related to animals' needs. Like we start having how to do a workshop instead of the needs assessment usual session. We start talking about press releases, statement making, and these stuff that usually they are part of PRC and other divisions within IFMSA, but we don't usually teach them to members. And actually, I find them the fun part of IFMSA PRC. So it depends on the animal needs.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else have questions for Heba? Anyone online? Nobody is raising their hand online. Okay. In this case, anyone else in the room? Okay, Zimza Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much. So my question goes to the fact that as a candidate for the VPPRC, how will you practically reconcile the enforcement of the 2025 legal requirements with the reality of the African animals who are struggling to digital infrastructure? Specifically, if an animal is suspended under the bylaw 2.51, what is your immediate plan to ensure that they don't fall into a 3-year loss of membership trap? How will you use the Solidarity Fund to prevent this without creating a financial dependency?
Can you please clarify the question?
So I was saying that if an animal is actually suspended by the bylaw 2.51, what is your immediate plan to ensure they don't fall into a 3-year loss of membership trap? And how will you use the Solidarity Fund to prevent this without creating a financial dependency? So the question goes to also the effect that the African animals have got a digital infrastructure problem, as this is particularly to the amendments that were done in August meeting 2025.
Okay, thank you for your question. I believe the stuff related to membership and finance could be coordinated better with the vision of the VPF elect and the VPM elect also. But for the digital stuff, I will make sure that I would do a research with your animals about the other animals, what they are using for digital infrastructure, and help you capacitate you and your animals in using these stuff too, to ensure that you will, like the digital stuff won't be the barrier for you to participate fully in IFMSA. But for the other stuff, it will be better to discuss them with the VPM and VPF elect as it's their area of work. And thank you.
Thank you. You have 1 minute and 12 seconds. Anyone else have any questions? I don't see any voting cards in room. I don't see any hands on Zoom. Thank you so much, Hiba.
You are welcome. Thank you, Kamia.
So in order to coordinate things, as we do have an online candidate, I would like to ask a breakout room to be created in order to put Heban and one of our returning officers in the room. Just give us a few seconds to facilitate this. In the meantime, you may go out the doors or the stairs or whatever you want to call a door. But please make that quick as we do the transition. Thank you. Just hold on a few seconds. Can we also have the returning officers bring Matia back? Thank you. For the returning officers on Zoom, can you just identify yourself? Abuela, are you here?
I'll create a like a breakout
Hello.
room, but I just want someone to make me a co-host first.
Yes,
Hello,
yes.
can you just make me a co-host so I can create it?
We will do so. Just hold on a few seconds. And please, Abuela, if you
Okay,
can
thank you.
ensure that Heba is not doing any live stream or anything that she should not be doing while waiting, that would be great. Have a great conversation with her. Give us a few seconds to turn on the breakout room. 1 second. Okay, can we please have Abuelo and Heba join the breakout room as they have been requested? You should see it pop up on Zoom. If you don't, please let us know. Okay, let me just double check everything. We don't have Heba in the room. We don't have Abuelo in the room. Okay, excellent. Some silence, please. And you should be seated. Okay, sorry, that was crazy for your eyes. But we are sharing the slides now. Okay. All right, some silence, please. Shh. All right. So Matia, you have 5 minutes for your presentation, followed by 3 minutes of questions. I will be changing your slides. And you may go whenever you're ready.
Am I audible? Okay, perfect. We can start. Good evening, everyone, or afternoon. Next slide, please. Before I tell you anything about me or my plan, I just want to ask you, have you ever felt something important but struggled to put into words? Because I did. When I was 12, I had a name, and I was a little different. And even though I had a name, my classmates gave me another one. And I actually had a lot of things to say, but kind of the room already has decided who I am, and I kind of stopped raising my hand. Not because I didn't know what to say or how to say, but that feeling of the room, and sometimes it was hard to put all those feelings into words. So, years later, next slide, please, sorry. Years later, I came to IFMSA March meeting, and I attended Scora sessions. There, I meet people who were talking about their realities, openly and without fear. And that actually empowered me to start thinking about communication and how the difference between communication is not about silence and advocating for what we believe. It's about between silence and somebody reaching out for help. And the communication isn't just decoration, it's our responsibility. And we need to look at it like that. Next slide, please. So, when I entered IFMSA world deeper, I understand that this responsibility is everywhere in IFMSA, not only in Scora. So that's why I'm standing in front of you talking about communication and public relations. Next slide, please. And how my journey started. It started with local projects and then developing national projects in Kromsik. Then I entered IFMSA Trainers Pool, and being IFMSA trainer gave me ability to give the voice to my trainees and people who I met along the way for them to communicate and advocate. And as a peer CDA, I implemented and redesigned Scora visibility, Scora designs, tonally and visually. Next slide, please. So my foundation, how I work, is that people feel understood, respected, and they trust what we communicate. Next slide, please. So every good thing is like climbing up the mountain, and it needs a clear route to the top. So, dear NMOs, I'm Matia, a 6-year medical student from Croatia, and I want to invite you on the journey on the mountain with me. So, my plan of changing IFMSA PRC was described in 6 pillars in my plan of action, but now I want to show you those 3 strategic shifts that I want to emphasize and talk about more. So, from reactive to strategic, I want to implement PRC at the very beginning of everything that we're doing in IFMSA. So that's why we have amazing workflow, that we have everything aligned with our annual working plans, and especially with the new strategy that IFMSA is developing, the strategy 26-29. So I think that's really important. And everything is about sustainability. So handover system must be looked on and in ways may be corrected. Next slide, please. So how are we going to communicate with integrity and care? We're going to focus on sensitivity and crisis communication, supporting PRCIT and team of officials and EB respectively in applying those ethical storytelling, which I really want to focus on, and especially including consent, representation, and risk awareness in everything that we're going to do. Next slide, please. And the last strategic shift that I want to do is just to broaden the visibility of IFMSA, and that visibility is understood. IFMSA is already visible, that's not a question. But the question is, do people understand us? And that's what I want to focus on, about storytelling and the impact of our campaigns. Next slide, please. So, I had 6 pillars, 3 strategic shifts, and 1 clear way up to the mountain, from reactive to strategic, from visibility to real influence, and from present to understood. Next slide, please. And what's on the top of the mountain? It's a sacred responsibility. That's a leadership. And as a vice president, I want to ensure strategic alignment. I want to contribute in everything that is going to be happening in EB or PRCIT or PRC network. And definitely supporting NMOs, supporting their PRC representatives, and supporting in creating those storytelling moments, the impactful moments that we're going to share on our Instagrams. Next slide, please. So, I want to circle back to where I began. Have you ever felt something important but struggled to put into words? If you select me as your VP PRC, you wouldn't need to worry about that.
Thank you so much. Time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me put back the slides. Sorry, close your eyes. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So we will take 3 minutes to take questions for Matia. How would you like to take your questions?
Let's go 3 by 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions for Matia? It can be both in the room or on Zoom. So the first 2 that raised their wooden card was LIMSA Lithuania and MSI India. I don't see anyone on Zoom yet, so I'll take AMSA Hong Kong as well as these first 3. Please go ahead in order.
أستاذ شيهر Lithuania. Thank you for your candidature. And your CV shows you are a highly skilled creator of visuals and campaign materials, but your leadership experience is limited to small and short-term project teams. As VP PRC, you must manage a large permanent international team with diverse responsibilities beyond design. How can you prove you have the leadership capacity to manage a global year-round team? And how will you ensure you don't spend your term doing the design work yourself instead of performing the high-level executive management required for this position? Thank you.
Deepit, he, him, MSAI India. Thank you for your presentation, Matia. My question is regarding reflecting regional and NMO realities that you have mentioned. My concern is without established criterias for that about what to focus on and what not to, it might still cause regional visibility on a global scale to be skewed, and activities and projects with great social impact might stay hidden. How are you planning to mitigate that so that it does not happen?
We see that you plan to implement cool-down periods in your candidature. How will you ensure that they do not interfere with the work of the PRC team, especially for urgent requests that need PRC approval?
Can you please repeat the question? Sorry.
We see that you plan to implement cool-down periods in your candidature. How will you ensure that they do not interfere with the work of the PRC team, especially for urgent requests that need PRC approval?
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Lims and Lithuania, for the question. And I actually get the concern because maybe not in IFMSA, I didn't have a lot of leadership experience. Besides IFMSA, I think I would be really well equipped with leadership experience because I'm also president of a student council of my university. And I think it's one of the biggest leadership skills. And also, I want to circle back to IFMSA. It's not only that I really designed everything and kind of wanted to organize people in Scora IT to create the vision together. So also I had amazing 2 or 3 officials, being Darin, Mika, Olfa, and I learned a lot from them and I seen them work. So I think there wouldn't be that big of a problem for me to lead a team. Thank you. So thank you, India, for the question. And about the regional visibility, I get the concern, but as PRCIT has regional assistants, and as well, I'm going to be the part of EBTO, so I'm going to be in very close communication with regional directors. I really want to implement those regional priorities discussed with PRCRAs and to really develop a sustainable workflow and kind of a calendar of campaigns to really equally represent every region. So I really hope that this answers your question. Thank you. And I believe it was Hong Kong's question. Am I right? Okay, thank you. For the cooldown period, as I said, I'm currently Scora PRCDA, and there is 2 of us. So we kind of divided the work, and if somebody is maybe not available or need to cool down, the other person will maybe do much more work or something like that. I hope you understand me. So that's what I'm trying to do because all the positions in PRCIT, except a small number of them, are only one, or sorry, a lot of PRC positions are 2 or 3 people. So there are a lot of people working on similar things so they can help each other. And especially PRCIT work and PRC network work is very creative. And sometimes we hit a wall with creativity and it's hard to move forward. Of course, we have Pinterest, we have TikTok, Instagram, whatnot to find inspiration. But we also need to understand that sometimes our brains are so overcapacitated that we don't have that creativity. And that's why I want to include like a cool down period, maybe a short one, just for people to gather that creativity back because they have it. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you. You have 5 seconds, so I think that's about it for your questions period. Thank you so much, Matia.
Thank you so much. Hvala.
Okay, so with that, we have finished the agenda item for the executive board presentations for their candidates. If you had a question for any of the candidates today that you have previously already written down, can I please ask you to send it to the plenary team secretary so then we can have it included in the minute as precise as possible and as accurate as possible? Thank you for that. And per the agenda of the plenary, we would be taking a break for supper. Can I just have the confirmation from someone of the OC that this is the case? Are we eating right now? Are we taking a break or we're eating? Okay, so we are going to reconvene at, let me just see what time. We will be reconvening. We'll come back at 7 p.m. local time GMT +1, which is 6 p.m. GMT. So you have to be back at this time or else. Thank you. VPM wants to chat with you.
Hello, everyone. To our NMOs, please. You will be back here in 1.5 hours. Your seats will not change, so leave your things here. So when we restart the plenary, we can finish it as soon as possible. So the OOC and everyone who would like to help the OOC, we can set up for an FDP. So leave your things here. And when you're taking dinner, be very careful to not mess